Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nidhi Gupta and in this particular series of Indian economy, today we will be discussing the topic foreign trade in India. So let's begin this. When we talk about this foreign trade in India, as I have mentioned in my slide, unlike many countries of the world, India has been having trade relations with the outside world since times immemorial. Prior to the independence of India, its foreign trade was, the foreign trade of India was typically colonial. And if we talk about the Todaro, he mentioned that India was a major exporter of foodstuff and raw materials to England and its allied countries, other developed nations of the world at that time, and an importer of manufactured items. And after 1947, India embarked upon a process of planned economic development under the 5-year plans. According to the requirements of a developing nation, the pattern, size, composition, and direction of its foreign trade has undergone a sea change during the last 66 years. And it was therefore natural to undertake large-scale developmental and maintenance imports to create and expand productive capacity in various areas of production. Besides, in the initial years of economic planning, India had to import various consumer items also, as I have mentioned in the slide, and to supplement the deficient supply of these things at home. On the other side, with the initiation of the process of industrialization, the traditional exports also declined as the domestic demand for these products increased. As a result, balance of trade, a very important concept which we'll be discussing in my further videos, it turned against us. Therefore, we were required to diversify our export and import based on one hand, and to find out new buyers for our products and new suppliers for our imports. Now, in this particular slide, I have mentioned the value and volume of foreign trade during the plans. So, basically, a phenomenal increase in the volume and value of India's foreign trade has taken, place since independence. And during the last 66 years, a massive increase has been recorded in the exports and import of the country, and country's total trade has increased to unimaginable proportions. So as you can see in the slide, in 1950-51, the total value of India's foreign trade was 1214 crore, and export being of 606 crore and import of 608 crore, which has increased to 38,11,422 crore. That is I am talking about here the Sun 2011-12. So in this particular period, export of 1465,959 crores and import of 2345,463 crore. So during these years of planned economic development, the size, pattern, composition, and direction of our exports as well as imports have completely been transformed. And over the decades, India's foreign trade has grown substantially, which is, you can already see in this particular table. So in this, I have taken this table from Economic Survey 2012-13 and 2014-15, 2017-18. So from this table, it emerges that volume of India's foreign trade has increased from 1214 crore in 1951 to rupees 75,751 in 1991. In this year, you can see the figure 75,751 and to 38,11,422 crore in 2011-12. So, India's exports have increased from rupees 606 crore in 1951 to rupees 1465,959 crore in 2011-12. That is 2419 times increase during 50-51 to 2011-12. Similarly, if we talk about the imports have increased from 608 crore in 1950-51 to 2345,463 crores in 2011-12. That means 3,896 time increase during 1950-51 to 2011-12. Similarly, if we talk about the volume of trade, it has increased by more than 3,139 times during 61 years, and a remarkable decline, that is of 21.69% in current account deficit, which is known as CAD. It has been achieved during 2013-14, and it is quite evident in this particular table. You can see that the balance of trade has been declined approximately 21.69%. So let's move forward. In this particular slide, I have mentioned all the details of that table which we have already discussed. So let's move forward again. Yes, now composition of exports and imports. Okay, so basically large number of commodities comprise foreign trade of a country. We know it. And different countries of the world are bestowed with different degrees of factor and domains. Consequently, different countries specialize in the production of those items in which they enjoy maximum comparative advantage and export them to the outside world. Composition of exports and imports provide us an insight as to which items are exported and imported by a country at a particular stage of its economic development. Since 1947, composition of India's foreign trade has undergone a substantial change, and our capabilities to produce different commodities and our requirements after the initiation of developmental process in the country have undergone change enormously over the decades. So it is prudent to discuss the changes that have taken place in the composition of India's exports and imports. So let's discuss first the changes in composition of exports from India. In the pre-independence days, the India used to export foodstuff, raw material like cotton and cotton yarn, jute products, tea, coffee, rubber, tobacco, indigo spices, animal skin, iron ores and other minerals. And during the plan period, its dependence on traditional items has lessened. An export base has been diversified and large number of non-traditional items have been added to our export basket. And as is obvious from the previous table, we could see that the contribution of some non-traditional items have been on the rise. And now let's discuss some features that changes that have emerged in the composition of our export over the last 52 years. So first change in composition, that is declining share of agricultural and allied products in total exports. So in the post-independence period, the percentage share of agricultural and allied products has been falling. This is to note that it has been falling. It was 44.2% in 1962-61, which fell to 19.4% in 1990 and 91, and 12.3% in 2011-12. So we can observe that it has been continuously falling, and this has happened mainly because of rising domestic demand for these products due to rising incomes of the people and rising population. The second is decline in percentage share of traditional items. In 1960-61, the percentage share of jute products and yarn, tea and mate, sugar and molasses, and iron ores and minerals accounted for 53.1% in total export of the country. Share of these in the export basket of India has declined miserably to low percentage of 3.8% in 2011-12. You can see the huge decline from 53.1% to 3.8%. Then the third is rise in percentage share of manufactured items. So, with the adoption of the planned economic development, the process of industrialization has gained roots. And consequently, the share of manufactured products has risen from 45.3% in 1960-61 to 65.8% in 2011-12 after touching high of 78.9% in 2000 and 2001. So in the recent years, the pace of manufacturing has somewhat decelerated. Now the next is increase in contribution of non-traditional items in export basket. So contribution of non-traditional items like gems and jewelry, mineral fuel and machinery, and transport equipment, which accounted for 5.9% in 1961 and increased to 49.7% in 1990, 1991 and to 69% in 2011-12. This is a clear testimony to the fact that India has moved along the path of industrialization. Then the last is rising contribution of engineering goods, handicrafts and leather products. So as a result of increased emphasis on industrialization during the planned period, the percentage share of the export of engineering goods, you can see I have mentioned the engineering goods, handicrafts and leather products has increased from 9.5% in 1960-61 to 21% in 2011-12. So it was continuously rising. Here I would like to tell you that the share of coffee, tobacco, fish and fish products within the category of agricultural and allied products has increased over the years, and export of manufactured has been rising, while that of agricultural and allied products as well as that of raw material has been declining. So this change reflects the transformation of Indian economy. Now let's move further. Now let's discuss the changes in composition of imports to India. So yes, the most significant changes in the composition of imports reflect the efforts of Indian economy to industrialize at a fast speed. And the strategy has been to reduce our dependence on the manufactured consumer items and to have liberal imports of petroleum products, capital goods, semi-manufactured goods, transport equipment and fertilizers. And an attempt has been made by classifying total imports into 4 categories like food and live animals, raw material and intermediate manufacturer and capital goods, and to study the changes in the relative importance of these over the years. Now, we can discuss some changes in the following points I have mentioned in my slide. So first point, let's discuss the drastic fall in imports of cereals and cereals preparations. So during early years after independence, because of the disproportionate geographical and population distribution, as a result of partition of the country, imports of cereal and cereal preparations accounted for 16.1% in the total imports of the country in 1960 and 1961, which declined to less than 0.5% in 1990 to 1991 and almost 0.002% or we can say 0.01% in 2012-13. So, The next is rise in the share of intermediate products. Yes, the substantial rise has been observed in the percentage share of intermediate products also, like pearls and precious stones, from less than 1.0% in 1960-61 to 5.7% in 2011-12. The next is alarming increase in the imports of petroleum, oil and lubricants, that is POL we say. Its share in the total import of the country in 1960-61 was just 6.1% that time, and which has risen to 31.7% in 2011-12 and again 34.5% to 2012-13. Then the next is increase in imports of fertilizers and iron steel. So value of imports of these two items in 1960-61 was rupees 136 crore, which has increased to rupees 110863 crore in 2011-12, but has declined to rupees 78018 crore in 2012-13. And import value of fertilizers has increased. Why? Because of rising prices and rising demand for the chemical fertilizers continuously after the adoption and spread of new agricultural strategy in the country. Okay, so now, when we have already discussed the changes in composition of export and import, and I am now moving forward to discuss the main characteristics or attributes of India's foreign trade, I would like to conclude the changes in composition of import with this, that the composition of India's import trade drives us to the conclusion that India is in the thick of industrialization, and imports of capital goods confirm that capital intensive industries are being set up in the country, and import of manufactured consumer goods has totally been eliminated, and this shows that considerable import substitution has been achieved, and which is a positive sign for our economy. So now with this, let's move to discuss the chief attributes or characteristics of India's foreign trade. So I have mentioned here some features. First is rising share of foreign trade in GDP. So India's total merchandise trade as a percentage of GDP increased from 28.2% in 2004-5 and to 43.2% in 2011-12. I have mentioned some facts here in this slide, so you can analyze the data, you can see the fact. And India's exports as a percentage of GDP increased from 11.8% to 16.5% during the same period. So it shows that the foreign trade in GDP was continuously rising that time. The second is India's export growth versus world export growth. So India's export growth has almost continuously been above world export growth in the decade 2011. And there is a strong correlation between India's export growth and the world export in 2009. Now moving towards the next attribute of the India's foreign trade, that is trade deficit. So it reached a peak of rupees 879,504 crore in 2011-12 due to moderate export growth and high import growth, particularly due to high prices of petroleum products and high gold and silver imports. And trade deficit was rupees 2 crore, to note please, to rupees 2 crore in 1950 and 1951, and it increased to rupees 897,504 crores in 2011-12. So huge difference in 1950 to 1951, then in 2011-12. So current account deficit at present is 4.2% of India's GDP to be mentioned here, and India's trade deficit in 2011-12 is the highest in the world at 10% of the GDP. Please note this. India enjoyed bilateral trade surplus with 4 countries only, UAE, USA, Singapore, and Hong Kong in 2011-12, out of its 15 top trading partners. And India's trade deficit with China has been expanding rapidly in the recent months. Now we are banning so many companies which belong to China. So it's the again the new particular movement in this particular trade deficit. Let's see what will happen. So next is export composition. The composition of export basket has witnessed significant changes in the recent years, and share of primary products that was 16% in 2001 has declined to 9.7% in 2010-11, but again regained to 16% mainly due to exports of rice. The share of manufacturing exports fell from 78.8% in 2001 to 66.1% in 2011-12 due to fall in the shares of textiles, leather, and leather manufacturers. So, at the same time, please note that share of petroleum, crude, and product export increased from 4.1% in 2001 to 18.3% in 2011-12. And India's exports of primary products to USA has increased from 6.8% in 2009-10 to 21.3% in 2012-13. So I am talking about the April to November months. While the share of manufactured goods to USA in India's exports has fallen from 89.1% in 2009-10 to 74.2% in the same period. And India's exports to China too have undergone some important changes that time. On the one hand, share of primary products has fallen continuously from 65.7% in 2009-10 to 38.4% in 2012-13. And on the other hand, share of manufacturers like engineering goods, textile, and chemicals in India's exports to China, it has risen from 32.2% to 58% over the same period. So next is import composition. So when we talk about this, yes, some significant changes in the composition of India's import basket have been observed in recent years. The share of petroleum import rose from 28.7% in 2010-11 to 31.7% in 2011-12 and to 34.6% in 2012-13. I'm sorry, it is please read this 2012-13. Share of gold and silver imports increased from 9.3% in 2001 to 12.6% in 2011-12. So the import share of pearls, precious and semi-precious stones fell drastically over the same period. And share of capital goods imports increased from 10.5% to 14.1% in 2011-12, and among capital goods, import share of machinery, transport equipment and electrical machinery fell appreciably, signaling a slowdown in the industrial activity in India. The last characteristic let's discuss, that is the export-import ratio. So basically this ratio represents the percentage of total import bill that can be paid from export earnings. And in 1991 the ratio was 75.3%, meaning that thereby that 24.7% of the import bill was paid either by taking loans from abroad or by withdrawing from forex reserves. This ratio has deteriorated in 2011-12 when this ratio fell drastically to 62.5%. This implies that 37.5% of import bill had to be paid either by foreign loans or withdrawal from forex reserves. So this ratio has again deteriorated further in 2011-12, which I have mentioned again. So basically, this is the negative sign of the economy. So in the light of this, of the all the issues we have discussed with regard to India's foreign trade, it is convenient to infer few important points that India's foreign trade policy no longer serves the interest of foreigners, as was the case in pre-1947 era. And in pursuance of the national objectives of development, the trade policy encompasses a large variety of measures to promote and diversify countries' export, to promote substitution of imports for making the country relatively self-independent, to reduce the CAD, which we call current account deficit, and to raise the percentage share of foreign trade in GDP of the country. Undoubtedly, it can be concluded that India's present trade policy is development oriented. So, with this concluding remark, I stop myself, and I hope you have understood about this topic, that is India's foreign trade or foreign trade in India. So, thank you so much. And if you like this, please join and subscribe my channel for my further videos.